Hi, welcome back to Velo News TV. I'm Neil Rogers. We're here at the finish of Stage 17 with John Vande Velde. It's a pretty good souvenir you got there. Tell us a little bit about seeing your son in the Tour de France.
Oh, it's always a thrill. You know, I've been watching him since '99 and watched him grow and watch him do better and better and get stronger in the mountains. And it's really been amazing for me to watch that because sometimes I have no idea who his father is because I hated mountains. I can't stand mountains, and he's just climbing like a mountain goat.
For anybody who's not familiar, John was a professional as well back in, I want to say, the late 60s, early 70s?
Early 70s, yeah. In the 60s, yeah.
Yeah. Now, Christian's been doing diaries for velonews.com. I don't know if you've been reading those as well, but how often how do you stay in touch with his racing? Do you guys talk on a daily basis, email?
We try to talk at least 3 or 4 times a week. I understand that he's so tired after the races are over with, and like today we saw him for 3 or 4 minutes, and he's gone to take a shower, and I understand that completely, and I don't want to get interfere with him.
We saw you having a quick chat with George Hincapie. Is it an allegiance? Are you always cheering for CSC? Do you have other favorites because of former teammates of Christian's? How does it, when you're watching a race, who are you cheering for, and what are your conflicts?
Well, I've always had a soft spot for George. George was in Christian's wedding, and I've known George forever, so I'll always cheer for George. You're right. I have a lot of good friends on Levi and Johan and everybody. They treated Christian very well. So yeah, I've got a lot of good friends here.
Christian, it seems like last year and this year maybe his 2 best tours. Would you agree with that? And if so, what would you attribute that to?
Definitely, I would say the last 2 years are the best because, if it wasn't for him losing 20 minutes in the first week working for Fabian, he would be right up there, Yeah, he's just getting stronger in the mountains. He's really, really focusing on the mountains. When he came in '99, he didn't know where he was going to fit in the team, and he did a couple good, decent time trials, but he really wasn't good up into, in the long mountains. But now he's really working his butt off every day. He lives in Girona in the Pyrenees, and he's really turning into a mountain goat.
Is this an annual thing for you to come to the Tour de France? You come every year that he's here. What other races you go see him in?
I've come to every Grand Tour except the first one in '98 when he finished with Lance. Lance got 4th. But yeah, every Grand Tour I've always been to, and I always come to at least Liège or Amstel Gold.
And what about the Tour de Georgia? Were you there when he finished 2nd?
I was there when he finished 2nd, and I was there in California when he finished 6th. Yeah.
One last question. What's your prediction? Final podium in Paris?
As they stands right now.
Yeah. All right, John. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Neil.
How much does it mean to you to have your family there, and how much time do you actually get to spend with them?
I think I saw him for all of 3.5 minutes yesterday at the bus. it wasn't a good visit, but having friends and family on the mountains and supporting you, it really does give you that much more oomph. Just trying to get to the finish and just. They don't necessarily need to be there. I just know that they're watching on TV every day and following me on the internet and things like that, and that's always in the back of my head.
Yeah, and you talk about friends and family on the mountain, but do you ever actually hear your name, or do you ever actually see your name painted on the road?
Yeah, no, more than you think, And sometimes on the mountain passes, you're not going that fast, and I see my neighbors, I see people I haven't seen in a long time, and sometimes it's pretty surreal actually. But I notice everything as much as I can at least.
Speaking of someone you haven't seen in a long time, we talked to you in London, and you were talking about your newborn daughter. Have you had any contact at all? Have you seen her for a day or for a minute? Or?
Yeah, Uma and Leah came to the stage in Montpellier, so that was really cool to see, and I spent the night with them and hung out, and yeah, so that was neat. And I raced with a picture of her in my back pocket every day, so yeah, she's always close.
I was talking to your dad, and we were saying that really you've ridden, I don't know how many tours, 6, 7, 8?
Grand Tour is 9, but Tour de France I think this is 4th or 5th.
Okay. And the last 2 seem to be your best.
Yeah.
What do you attribute that to?
Just starting to get back over my injuries and things like that, and getting confidence back in myself. I went through a big lull in my career, and I'm coming back out of it. I feel better and better every year, and so who knows what the future could hold.
One last question. Can you name your podium in Paris? How's this thing going to end?
Man, it's going to be tight. It's going to be really tight, but I think Alberto, he is freaked out right now, and I really feel for him, honestly, that, he's so young and he's had all this pressure put on his shoulders at the last minute, but I think he can pull it off. He has so much talent, but Cadell is going to do a scorcher, so it could be tight, but I see the podium not changing.
Oh, really? So as is?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.